Hi, everybody. This is the Eclectic News Network. Today is Saturday, September 5th. Can't believe it's September already, 2020. And today I really don't have a lot to talk about. I know there's a lot of things going on right now with the election coming up and the riots in the street and all the stuff that's going on. And to be honest with you, I don't really find a lot to talk about. But I did notice something today that really got my attention. I don't know if anybody else notices this, but I truly think that there is a changing of the guard. Now, what do I mean by changing of the guard? What I mean by that is a change in the sense that is when the breeze, I was out hiking today. There was a breeze when I hiked, and it was that cold breeze, even though it was about 75, 76 degrees. It was that breeze where, seasons are changing. Summer becomes fall, even though fall's not for another 3 weeks. And I was just really thinking about it. And there is the winds of change. Okay, it's coming. And I don't know if I'm the only one who can sense it, but I think everybody else that has that sixth sense or that third eye, if you want to call it, can sense it. I can talk about everything you want to, about the politics or whatever. It's the same old thing. If you're for Trump, you're for America. If you're for Biden, you're for the BLM. It's basically Coke and Pepsi. I mean, the thing is that I could talk about that all day until I'm blue in the face. It really doesn't matter. We're screwed either way. I don't like to be negative, but there is some positive news. What I will say is that we all have the ability and the foresight to actually prepare for what's to come. And what do I mean by that? Prepare in the sense that get right with yourself, try to improve your life, try to do the best you can with what you have. Enjoy family, enjoy friendships. But more importantly, this world is going to be changing very rapidly. Things that were happening pretty much like now would happen every 5 years that are happening in the last month. And pretty soon in the next couple months, those are things that will happen in the next 20 years. What is the future going to hold? I don't know. But I do know that what's going on is that there's a certain thing that doesn't seem right with the lockdowns, also with the social distancing. I think we're losing that human connection. And my opinion and my thought is I think this is preparing us for, past the dehumanization phase that we've gone through. Dehumanization meaning that we dehumanize, people's lives at first. That's what they did after, probably about 2 or 3 decades like they have been doing. And now it's extermination, meaning that they're exterminating the life force of us to be social creatures. You have to wear a mask all the time. You have to social distance. You can't go in here. You have to wear a mask. But to be quite frank, pretty much everybody is pretty much acquiesced to everything. And my concern is that are we going to acquiesce to contact tracing? Are people going to snitch on their neighbors if they see a sneeze or a cough? That's scary. Are we going to cave to mandatory vaccines? I think most people will. And the reason I think so is because people don't want to be uncomfortable. But I will say this, when it comes to being uncomfortable, that's when you actually become stronger. Because when you're fat and sassy, you don't tend to grow. You tend to be very decadent, very lazy, and that tends to drag on to, other elements of life. So in times of trial, that's when your mettle is tested. If you're, a person that follows Jesus Christ, which I do, I'm not perfect, but God will put you through tough times to test your mettle in the sense that to make you stronger, to trust only in Him or whatever you trust in, the most. So I do believe there is some positives out of this. I think that people are going to get more resolved and more strengthened, but I think you're going to see the majority of people pretty much fall through the wayside of Neverland. They'll follow whatever they follow, just because they don't want to make waves. And Zbigniew Brzezinski, who's a Polish aristocrat, who was, I think he was the national security advisor under Jimmy Carter in the 70s. He's the one who wrote the Tectonic Era, The Tale Between Two Ages, where he talked about books in the 60s where people would not be able to think for themselves in 50 years. And this book was written in the 1970s. And, just looking back at that book, he was a CFR member. He is a globalist manager. I think he died in 2017. I'm not sure. But very intelligent. But he was behind the Bologna bombings, Russians in Afghanistan. He set that all up back in 1980 to get Carter out of office. And he said I think it was either a CFR meeting, this is right before he died, I think it was 2015 or 16, he said, it's a lot easier back in the old days to convince 1 million people to adapt to a change. Nowadays, with technology, it's not. It's a lot easier just to kill 1 million people. And I was thinking about that statement. Why would he say something like that? And what that makes me guess is that they have ways of killing us slowly, with chemicals in the food and the water. All the crap that's in the air, all the stuff that we use, the electronics, all the stuff that does to our neurons and our brains. They already know about all of that. I think there will be an event that I think the election will go through, but I think it will be contested. There will be civil war, and we're going into some very tough times in the United States. But I think that people need to realize that we need to keep the United States as it is. We are a country, a republic, that is based on freedom, liberty. Freedom and liberty is the cornerstone. Even behind the Declaration of Independence, you even go back to the Magna Carta in 1215. So either we stick up for what we believe in our own lives. Obviously, we can't all change the world. The best remedy for the negativity that's going on is to live the best life possible. To be healthy, to be happy, to set goals for yourself, to do all those things. That's the best antidote I can think of. Because what's coming down the road is not going to be pleasant. And it's going to affect everybody. Everybody thinks, this is only in Seattle, it's only in Portland, it's only over here. It's going to affect us all down the road, even if it hasn't affected you now. So, instead of, you have to make the choice. You can either choose to be kind of like this allegory that I go with the dog who kind of melts. Everything's fine, like right here.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are going to be okay.
Or you could say, I don't have control over that, but what I do have control over is I can prepare for this. I can prepare for that. I can take good care of my physical and my mental health. I can, reach out to neighbors, to friends that I know to make sure that they're okay, because that's what's going to get us through. See, they want us separated, and they want us isolated. so we can't stand up for ourselves and for our family. Don't fall prey to that trap. This has not been a message today that has been mostly news, so I do apologize. But I'm going to probably start doing some different type of news, probably that and season 2 of the Nutrition News Network starting up in the 3rd week in September. Some articles in there. Make sure you click subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.